The concept is simple. I'm gonna generate a random character, then spin an arrow. I'm gonna take that character and go in the direction the arrow is facing. Those two characters are gonna duel it out, and whoever wins takes the loser space on the roster. The fighter that eventually takes over the entire roster wins. This time we're starting off with Greninja up into Lucas. We officially have our first matchup. Okay, these guys are crazy good in the air. Look at this. Alright, Greninja, what are you doing? Lucas has literally accepted his fate, but you decide to spare him. I don't even feel bad. Villager, the best character in Smash Bros. Downright. Right into Cloud. As you may remember, Cloud was the most dominant fighter of the first Imperialism. Until he wasn't. Will Cloud continue his dominance, or will little old Villager make him the second eliminated character? Oh, the turnip spike! And now it's 0-0 as we enter the final stocks. And honestly, this was such a pain to watch, dude. There was like 57 different opportunities for Villager to attack, but the CPU barely did anything. Am I really gonna have to sit through Cloud destroying everyone again? Ryu down Joker. Initially, this was pretty close, but then I zoned out for 5.3 seconds, and Ryu starts destroying Joker. What is it with fighting game characters being the first to 3-stock their opponent? I forgot to remove him. We're officially 3 matches in, which means, of course, montage mode. I'm sorry in advance if your main gets eliminated. Wait, pause. This is where I introduce something new. Ken was the generated fighter and the arrow pointed left, clearly Ryu's territory. One of the issues with the original Imperialism was that fighters with a ton of space had absolutely no advantage over someone with a tenth of that. That's how Byleth easily went from 4 spaces to 87. To fix that, I came up with 2 new rules, one of which is the percentage advantage. If a fighter has X times more spaces than his or her opponent, the enemy starts the match with a higher percentage. Ryu has 1.5 times the space that Ken does, so according to this new rule, Ken will start at a solid 10%. Oh, and the other new rule is the Empire Clause. It states that if you have more than 16 spaces and you lose, you'll only lose half of your total space. So if Mario has 16 spaces and loses to Luigi, well then Luigi will take 8 spaces and Mario will keep 8 spaces. And if Mario loses again after that, then he's eliminated. So in other words, you essentially gain an extra life for every 16 spaces you have. Anyways, Ken and Ryu played, Ryu won, then I generated Pythra, up left, K. Rool, which is literally a matchup. Wait a minute. Which is literally a matchup we had in the last video at around this time. Pyro won again. Now we're fixing to enter the 10th match, so here's where another spicer upper gets introduced. The Smash Casino. Every 10 matches, I'm gonna generate a random fighter to enter the Smash Casino. This is where that fighter will spin a wheel, which will result in something either really good or really bad for said fighter. Think Bowser from the Mario Party games. You can either assert dominance over your peers, or just lose right then and there. The first victim is Duck Hunt, okay? And his side effect is all your opponents start at 10% going forward. So right there, that would be a good thing. Duck Hunt got very lucky just then. But anyways, continuing on. So I actually found out recently that Kazuya is considered to be the best TPU. We'll see if he proves that when he faces down. There's no one down. When he faces... When he faces... Oh, come on! Isabelle. Wait a second, since when does Kazuya's rage turn into a subscribe button? Huh. Weird. I was rooting for Isabelle, and she actually kept it close a couple of times, but no way the best CPU gets first rounded. Since Lucas has 3 times more space than Palutena, she's gonna start at 30%. Trust me, this is balanced. I hope. Alright, honestly I got a little carried away and forgot to do the Smash Casino, so I'm doing it again right now. But before that, this is the roster right now. That bottom left corner is giving me serious deja vu. Lucas is currently in the lead, which now that having space actually matters is a really good thing if you're a Lucas fan. And a lot of characters that got first rounded last time are here this time, like Ryu and Rosalina. Alright, well, we're still pretty early on, so let's continue. The second Smash Casino victim is Ridley. Lose all your space down to 1. Ridley only has 1 space, so I guess nothing happens. Alright, well, I was expecting something a little more exciting, but I guess now, next match. Piranha Plant vs Duck Hunt. T-Plant starts off at a disadvantage, but he does not care. Versus Rob, a character who can literally fly, decides to free fall and allow himself to get slashed by the sword that draws Mickey Mouse silhouettes. Versus... I'm starting to think the percentage advantage is a little too broken. Alright, my boy Ridley's literally getting bullied by a 12-year-old. Versus... I low-key went to go get a yogurt during this match, so I have no clue what happened. Lucina won though, apparently. Versus... All hope seemed to be lost for Dark Samus, but then she got this epic spike off on Zelda, and then all hope was lost. Well, if it isn't Byleth himself, the reigning champion faces off against a silver-haired Fire Emblem character, Corrin. Byleth picked up right where he left off, but Corrin wasn't going down that easy, except that maybe he absolutely is. I wish I could say this match was close, but Byleth proved again why he won the first Imperialism. That, and he got pretty lucky. Versus Sephiroth's getting destroyed, no way he's gonna win. Oh snap, Sephiroth's making a comeback, he might actually win. And Sephiroth got first rounded again, just as I predicted. Versus Alright, what just happened right there? These two were pretty even, but Rosalina had all the momentum over Little Mac. Little Mac, did she know, all she did was strengthen him. My guy actually made it past the first round. Versus I was gonna make a but he's not gonna make it past the second round joke, but Little Mac actually won again, and in the exact same way. All of a sudden, he's tied with Lucas for first place. This might be the first time in history Little Mac mains have something to be happy about. Versus lads, I have a newfound respect for Simon Belmont. My guy comes in at 50% for each of his stocks and competes with Lucas. He actually took the lead at one point, but it's hard to keep it when you respawn at 50. Simon took out Lucas at 88. At this point, there's no way he could still win. But he just started chucking every projectile known to man at him. Then he took a Castlevania leap and finished him off. I could have sworn he jumped up and chained him, but whatever. I was rooting for Simon and got genuinely excited when he won, because I love me a good underdog story. That and finding out the percentage advantage doesn't completely unbalance the game. Speaking of jacked third-party characters with long hair and a last name that starts with B, Terry has been awakened. Terry was pretty dominant in the last video, but this time he enters at a significant disadvantage against 5-space Little Mac. It's funny how the canonically underdog character is currently the large favorite. Terry tried his best, but not everyone can pull a Simon. And apparently I can't count to 10 because I forgot the Smash Casino again. But first, let's take a look at the roster. Nothing too crazy so far, but Little Mac over there slowly building an empire. Simon's also in a really good position. Other than that though, mostly everyone only has 2 or 3 spaces, so let's continue. The third victim is Jigglypuff. All your opponents start at 10%. How lovely. Olimar vs Shulk. Funny story. I got distracted during this match, so I was very confused when it was over within 2 minutes. I had to check the footage, and turns out I accidentally left Olimar as a player and not a CPU. Obviously that's unfair, so I gave Olimar another chance. He still lost. Okay, I'm back to thinking the percentage advantage is too overpowered. Hey, Little Mac built that empire fair and square, just saying. Now we have Ryu to the left, which is Piranha Plant. This match was sorta close, but Piranha Plant had a pretty good lead most of the time. Ryu recovered onto the ledge, but when he tried getting back on, Plant was waiting for him with that down B attack. Smash Imperialism legend Cloud Strife faces off against Hero. Hero started at 10%, but holy cow, he was taking care of business. Well, maybe Cloud was a one-hit wonder. After that, we had a stretch of pretty typical matches. Chrom took out Daisy, Captain Falcon beat Jigglypuff, Piranha Plant destroyed Mii Brawler, Zelda knocked out Yoshi, and Hero blanks Mii Gunner Sans. Alright, is CPU Steve actually stupid? Why are you just standing there? Minecart! Use the minecart! Anvil her! Why are you just falling as if someone turned the game mode to survival? I was typing the script explaining how watching Steve made me want to uninstall Minecraft, but that's when I always knew Steve had it in him, and now boom, this is the roster. I'm hoping to see a battle of the green later between Piranha Plant and Little Mac. The 2 finalists from last episode haven't really done much in this one so far. Heroes playing snakes and ladders, and 27 fighters haven't done anything so far. Smash Casino. Pit, play on normal stages for next 3 matches. So for Pit's next 3 fights, he has to play on the normal form of each stage. For the sake of keeping this video under movie length, I will now In case you missed something, here are all the matches that happened just then. Those last 2 matches didn't fit in the montage, so sorry to Sheik and Peach mains. So we're back at the Smash Casino, and this time it's Kirby who's entering. Oh, we got a bad one. Every match going forward start at 20%. Kirby's doomed. To start off this next stretch of matches, we have Shulk denying Game & Watch the ability to cook, Wii Fit Trainer asserting dominance over Snake, and Captain Falcon pulling this Spider-Man maneuver on a kid a third of his age. Luigi is finally awakened from his slumber, and what better way to start off than by footstalling a PK Thunder while rocketing yourself, then horizontally dying. This is either prime trolling by Ness or the CPU's genuinely confused. Well, there's always next time. Chrom vs Simon. What on earth just happened right there? Man, Chrom's recovery is really good at killing people. First Simon, now himself. Byleth up into Sir Little Mac. The reigning champion versus the reigning, he just died within 15 seconds. Little Mac's had a pretty good run, but his recovery was gonna catch up to him eventually. Not all hope was lost though, because he managed to take out Byleth. From there, the strat was just to not get thrown too far out in the air, and as I type that, he gets thrown too far out in the air. Well, Byleth's certainly on his way to repeat as champion. Earlier, Mewtwo was giving Chrome the death stare. Well, now that space belongs to Simon, and there's no way he's battling him, so he decided to invade upwards into the Mushroom Kingdom. Pretend that this stage is the Mushroom Kingdom. Wait a second, I just realized that the stage being played on should always be the home stage of whoever's getting invaded, because that just makes sense. Alright, well, starting now. Mario won, by the way. The first match under the new rule. Mario again, followed by respinning the arrow 76 times because it kept pointing to nothing, downright into Simon. So now we're in Dracula's castle. Pretty cool. Mario's success was short-lived. Captain Falcon was bold and tried taking down Byleth, but he failed. Byleth downright. Oh, poor Min Min. Do I even need to say anything? Apparently I do, because this match was way closer than I thought it would be. There were some points in the match where I actually thought Min Min was gonna win. But of course, Byleth eventually sent Min Min upwards, then used the up B into down air to finish her off. So Byleth ended up winning, but man, that was close. Sorry. Roster update version 6, or 7, or whatever it is. So we have 3 giants forming. Simon on the left, Piranha Plant in the middle, and Byleth on the right. There's definitely gonna be a battle between one of those 3 in the near future. I'm personally rooting for Steve, though now that I said that, he's probably gonna get eliminated in a few matches. Alright, well, Smash Casino. Okay, what I am fixing to show you was by complete chance, and I had nothing to do with it. For the Smash Casino, Byleth was the victim. And of all 12 possibilities, you know what it landed on? Of course, the only way to get rid of Byleth is by using sheer luck. So all that space that Byleth owned is now unclaimed territory. The first 2 fighters that spin in that direction are gonna duel it out, and whoever wins keeps all that space. And now all of a sudden, Byleth is no longer part of those 3 houses. Sorry, I had to. We're officially gonna have a new champion this time. Let's see who it's gonna be. Please don't let Richter take out Steve again. I was worried about this, but holy cow, Steve came in and he just started. Man, I actually didn't want to throw my controllers while watching him this time. Let's go. Sorry, Richter fans. Wait, so that match was actually really important. Banjo and then a few matches later, Wii Fit both spun into Byleth's former territory. And as you just saw, Wii Fit Trainer and those insanely strong calf muscles just took all that space. Holy cow. So there's 13 fighters left, 4 of which haven't even played yet. Shulk knows something we don't. Look at that shape he's got going. Simon and Piranha Plant fairly built their empires from scratch, but Wii Fit Trainer? No, I really hope she doesn't win. Steve's still alive, but he has giants surrounding him. Link and Pit won early, but haven't done anything in a while. And Ness is just chilling. The final stretch. One more Smash Casino. After that, there's no more. Pikachu, no disadvantages. This is probably one of the best ones you can get. So obviously that means no matter how little amount of space you have, you'll always start at 0%. Link versus Simon. Link was actually putting up a fight. Like, holy cow, this was actually close. But he kept making questionable moves and ended up losing. And now we have our biggest battle yet. Wii Fit Trainer versus Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant started off hot. He was about to 0 to death Wii Fit until she decided to actually attack back. And there we go, the first KO. Wii Fit finally took out Plant, but she was already at 60% when that happened. Piranha Plant came back and completely took advantage of that. Now he has a 1-stock lead. Plant's heavyweight status is completely carrying him. He just won't go down, but he will go up. Unfortunately for Wii Fit though, Piranha Plant's next stretch attack is a thing. Now this right here, this is the outcome everyone wanted. Except for Wii Fit Trainer mains. And Waluigi fans. Here's the thing though, Wii Fit Trainer isn't actually eliminated yet. She has 17 spaces, which is more than enough to be protected by the Empire Clause. So she's actually gonna still have 8 spaces, which obviously isn't as good, but still gives her a chance at redemption. Shulk to the right. At first I was gonna go with Piranha Plant because that's who's right of Shulk's roster spot, but now that I look at it, I think Pit makes way more sense. Shulk was fixing to get 3 stock, but then he got this epic spike off, then countered Pit into the abyss. We're now tied at 1 stock, but despite starting off with an advantage, Shulk was at a high enough percentage that Pit was able to easily finish him off. Mega Man was generated next, and he went up into Wii Fit Trainer. He's at a 50% disadvantage, so I thought this was going to be one of those matches that you just glimpse over because you already know who's going to win. Boy, was I wrong. First of all, I genuinely had been wanting to listen to the Mega Man 2 medley earlier, so when Mega Man was finally playing, I said, "Hey Google, play the Mega Man 2 medley from Smash Bros. Ultimate." The match started and Mega Man just started going off.
Playing Mega Man 2 medley, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on YouTube Music.
Well, thank you, I guess. Hey Google? Oh gosh. Stop.
I hope everything's okay.
What the heck? I apologize to everyone whose Google I just activated. I'm so sorry. Hey Google, what sound does a gorilla make? The match started and Mega Man just started going off. He quickly closed that disadvantage gap and took the lead. Seriously, this was like watching a little brother trying to play his big brother. By the time Wii Fit finally knocked out Mega Man, he came back and still had the lead. Wii Fit just couldn't get any hits off. It was humiliating, pathetic even. Mega Man was at a high percentage, but he couldn't care less. He just started chucking tornadoes until one of them finally took out Wii Fit Trainer. One space Mega Man comes in at 50% and two stocks the fighter who previously had the most space on the roster, Simon upright into Bowser. Bowser tried his hardest, but unfortunately not everyone can two-stock at 50%. Pikachu into Ness. Last time it was a battle of the fire spammers, now it's a battle of the electricity spammers. Despite the even matchup, Pikachu was kinda struggling. Ness took a one-stock lead and from there it really wasn't close. Ness again, and this time right towards the newly formed Mega Man Empire. They both have a similar amount of space, so there were no advantages. They were both off to a fast start until Mega Man remembered his tornado strategy. Ness tried answering back, but Mega Man did not answer. I don't think that makes sense. Eventually, he got a comically powerful kickoff on Mega Man. From there, it was back and forth until Mega Man PK sliced Ness midair. And now they were both at a high percentage. The only problem is that one of them has an entire stock more than the other. Mega Man got KO'd, but came back and quickly took over. This guy came out of nowhere. Pit, down left, Steve. Why are you just staring? Okay, you know what? I'm not fixing to get mad at CPU Steve again. Alright, Pit was just... he was just bullying Steve. Steve tried ledge guarding him. The only problem was that Pit was above him. Yeah, my guy got two-stocked. I was still upset about Steve losing that I didn't really pay attention until the Ice Climbers actually took the lead. They died, but then Simon missed his recovery. During both their last stock, it was back and forth, and I was seriously thinking Simon, the first character who overcame a 50% deficit, was about to give that same lead up himself. But I was wrong. Sorry for raising your hopes, Ice Climber fans. We are officially in the top 5. Hit, left, into Simon. Sure, you can start slow against the Ice Climbers, but maybe not so much against Pit, and so he slowly started going faster. I guess Simon's strategy is to start slow, finish fast. Justice for Steve, the final 4. Piranha Plant, right, upright, that general direction, which is Mega Man. Plant has 24 spaces divided by Mega Man 16, which is 1.5, so only a 10% advantage. Piranha Plant came in and started dominating, but Mega Man started answering back before he could even take the stock. It literally doesn't get any closer than this. They kept evenly attacking each other until Piranha Plant used the spike ball to send Mega Man flying. Then he took advantage and took him out. Mega Man still has a chance, but it just got a lot harder for him. Piranha Plant again, down left. Simon's in that general direction. I've seen this coming since the beginning. The two longest lasting giant empires finally face each other. One has 34, the other has 32, no advantages. They were both off to fast starts, but Simon was dealing more damage. And boy, Plant was struggling to kill. Luckily, Simon has a terrible recovery. Once again, Simon has a terrible recovery, but he doesn't have a terrible forward smash. And now we're tied at one stock, but Simon's way too high for comfort. They kept going at it, and eventually both of them were high enough that a powerful attack could KO either of them. And what better way to finish the match than with that classic Piranha Plant down B. Simon has so much space that even if he loses again, he'll still be alive. And it looks like Simon immediately wants revenge. Piranha Plant's 49 spaces divided by Simon's 17. 2.8, round of 3, that's a 30% advantage. Much worse for Simon now. He was actually off to a good start, but that recovery is literally gonna haunt him for years. That won't though. Why? Look at this. Piranha Plant recovers, then hangs onto the edge as if he's trying to show Simon how to do it himself. And then he fails again. Simon lost all of this in the span of 2 matches. Mega Man. Ideally, he'd want to fight Zelda because that's the most even matchup, but instead he goes up. Into Piranha Plant again. This time he's at a 50% disadvantage, which he has proven he can overcome. He was getting outmatched early on, but then he woke up and started using attacking moves. Then he got spiked by a gardening pot. He managed to knock out Piranha Plant, but not without giving up a ton of health. And now Piranha Plant has a comfortable 1-stock lead. Mega Man used his tornado strat, but when he came back, Piranha Plant wasted no time. It could have been an incredible underdog story, but Mega Man has been eliminated. Zelda, down. It appears to be Piranha Plant. 65 spaces divided by 12, 5.4, meaning Zelda's gonna have to start at 50%, and Piranha Plant just started dominating. This match was never close. If Simon and Mega Man couldn't stop Piranha Plant, I don't think anyone is. Speaking of Simon, he started his empire as an underdog, defeating Lucas with a 50% disadvantage, and now this would be the perfect time for him to do it again. Simon was actually off to a decent start, but Piranha Plant took the first stock, and because he was starting off at 50%, Piranha Plant was able to easily wear him down again. And Simon finally knocks him out, a glimmer of hope for Simon. Simon was trying to come back from being down a stock, but then he chains Plant, but not before he could get a spiked ball off, which finished off Simon. And so Piranha Plant, a character who came in early and knocked out many worthy opponents, a character who started from scratch and built his empire from the ground up, a character who many question to this day why he's even in the game. Piranha Plant has finally taken over the entire roster. But it's not over yet. There's still an unconquered space left. Random. Everyone is here, and whoever I randomly generate will have a chance to decrown Piranha Plant, except for Piranha Plant, of course. Bowser Jr. He's at such a big disadvantage that he's gonna start at 60%. It's literally 86 to 1. If Piranha Plant wins this, he's truly worthy of victory. However, Bowser Jr. has a prime chance too. Piranha Plant wins.